Have you ever wondered, what if Yuji Itadori had Six Eyes and Limitless, the exact same abilities that make Satoru Gojo the most broken sorcerer to ever exist, infinity running constantly, and the Six Eyes that see cursed energy so precisely they can read the exact structure of any technique before it even fully forms. That doesn't just change Yuji's fights, it changes everything about who Yuji Itadori becomes. So let's get into it, shall we? The story kicks off the same way on the surface. Yuji is living his normal life, his grandfather dies, and then one morning he wakes up and something is just different. The world has this extra layer to it. Everything has a texture he can't explain. People, buildings, the air itself. There's something on top of all of it that wasn't there before. He doesn't have a name for it. He doesn't know it's cursed energy. He just knows he can see it, and he cannot turn it off. Then Megumi shows up at his school looking for Sukuna's finger, and the moment Megumi walks through the gate, Yuji's eyes lock onto him immediately, because whatever that energy is that he's been seeing all week, Megumi's looks completely different. Structured, controlled, intentional. Yuji doesn't know what that means yet, but his eyes won't leave him. Then everything escalates the way it does in the original. The finger gets involved, his classmates are in danger, and Yuji, because he is Yuji regardless of what power he has, runs straight toward the problem. No hesitation, he picks up the finger, and the second Sukuna's soul makes contact, infinity wraps around it. Automatically, already running, Sukuna gets inside the body but immediately hits the wall. He can't push through, can't manipulate, can't reach the surface. Infinity doesn't care who's trying to get through, it stops everything that doesn't have permission, and Yuji's soul never gave permission. Sukuna is trapped, completely powerless, for the first time in over 1,000 years, and he is absolutely losing his mind about it. The cursed spirit attacks Yuji, and the hit just stops. Infinity stopped it without Yuji doing anything. He has no idea what he just did, but it worked. Then Gojo shows up on the rooftop and stops walking. He activates his Six Eyes, he reads what's in front of him, and Satoru Gojo, who has not been genuinely caught off guard by anything in years, goes completely still, because what he's looking at right now is himself. The exact same thing, limitless, Six Eyes, in a body that is somehow physically more gifted than his own was at this age. He takes about 1 second to process all of that, and then something happens to Gojo. Pure, unfiltered excitement, because Gojo has spent his entire life being the only person in the room. He has never once looked at another person and seen someone who could actually stand next to him, until right now. Gojo decides on the spot that whatever else he was supposed to be doing with his life, this just became the priority. Training starts immediately, right now, because Gojo understands something the higher-ups haven't figured out yet. Untrained Limitless at this level isn't a weapon, it's a disaster waiting to happen. So Gojo wipes his schedule clean, which he has genuinely never done for anyone, and starts working with Yuji every single day. And what surprises him is how fast Yuji catches on. Not because he's some technical genius, it's because Limitless isn't really a technique you learn intellectually. You learn it by feel. You let infinity breathe naturally instead of fighting it. And Yuji, who has always operated on instinct and physical feel, clicks with that framework faster than Gojo expected. Weeks in, Yuji can control infinity deliberately. A month in, blue is actually aimed. 6 weeks in, he fires his first clean red. Gojo watches it detonate perfectly on target and goes quiet for a moment, then says, almost to himself, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. The detention center. Yuji and Megumi walk in, and the special grade curse inside immediately feels something off. Not just strong, wrong, because whatever just entered this building doesn't read like a student. It reads like the thing the entire sorcerer world built its understanding of power around, except it's wearing a school uniform. The curse throws its strongest technique from across the corridor. Infinity stops it cold, tries again, same thing, pushes everything it has into one massive burst, and Yuji, watching all of it through Six Eyes that are already picking apart the structure of the technique in real time, just slightly tilts his head. He can see the core. He knows exactly where it is. He walks forward, collapses infinity at the contact point, fires blue directly into the center of the curse, and the fight just ends. Clean. Megumi watches the whole thing and stays quiet before finally saying, "Did Gojo teach you that?" Yuji says, "He's still teaching me." Megumi doesn't respond. He just mentally adds several hours to his own daily training. Sukuna, behind infinity, watched all of this with his arms crossed. He has nothing to say. That's honestly the worst part for him. When Mahito starts moving and transfigured humans begin showing up across the city, the Six Eyes completely change the dynamic. Because Mahito's whole thing is idle transfiguration. He touches your soul and reshapes it. Against a normal opponent, that makes him terrifying. Against Yuji, it makes him basically useless. Now here's the moment that completely reshapes the emotional core of this timeline. Originally, Junpei's death is the thing that breaks Yuji. Mahito gets close enough, transfigures him, and Yuji just has to watch. That moment leaves a mark that never fully goes away. In this timeline, the Six Eyes catch Mahito's energy signature around Junpei's school before anything gets to that point. Yuji finds Junpei early, and when he actually looks at him with the Six Eyes open, he can see everything. Junpei is isolated, angry, convinced the world has nothing for him. Junpei looks at him and says, "How do you know that?" Yuji replies, "I can see it." Junpei comes to Jujutsu High. He's alive. After that, Mahito reaches for Yuji twice in their first fight. Both times his hand just stops, held right at the edge where infinity closes. And Mahito, who has genuinely never been scared of anything, feels something he doesn't have a word for. Because this isn't just a strong opponent. This is someone whose body literally cannot be touched by idle transfiguration. You cannot transfigure what you cannot reach. Full stop. Yuji just looks at him. Calm, Six Eyes reading every layer of Mahito's soul in real time. Mahito leaves. It's the first time in the whole series he's the one walking away from a fight, and it stays with him. At Shibuya, Gojo still gets sealed. That was never about power. That was 1,000 years of planning executed perfectly. The curtains, the timing, the prison realm, nothing Yuji can do changes that. Gojo walks in, gets sealed, and the entire battlefield loses its sealing. Then Yuji arrives, Six Eyes reading every cursed energy signature in a 3-block radius at once. The transfigured humans are everywhere, but he keeps moving through them, eliminating them simultaneously, Infinity handling every incoming attack automatically. Then Choso finds him, fires piercing blood at full power. The Six Eyes read the trajectory before the technique fully forms. Yuji just steps to the side and looks at Choso. Choso throws everything at him, but Yuji steps into his range and fires a close range controlled red, enough to finish the fight, not enough to kill him, because he's still Yuji Itadori. No technique in existence changes that about him. And then Mahito. Mahito knows coming into this that he loses. The Six Eyes have been reading his soul the entire time he's been in Shibuya. Infinity has shut down every version of idle transfiguration before it could land. There's no adjustment that fixes this, but Mahito isn't built to run from things that scare him, so he comes forward anyway, pushes his soul to absolute maximum expansion, throws every transfigured construct he's built across all of Shibuya at Yuji in one final everything or nothing push, and Yuji opens Hollow Purple for the first time in a real fight. Blue and red combined into a single forward moving point that doesn't block anything, doesn't redirect anything, it just erases whatever it touches. Mahito's constructs hit the front edge of it and stop existing. The technique doesn't slow down, it crosses the distance, and Mahito, who has never once felt fear in his entire existence, feels it right now, completely. He tries one last thing, goes past everything else, and reaches directly for Yuji's soul. One absolute touch, all he needs. But Yuji absolutely demolishes him. Mahito tries to run for his life. Yuji doesn't give him mercy, he just ends it there. If you want more what ifs like this, subscribe. We've got a lot more coming, and watch this one next.